This is the Bongo. I'll show you all the wonderful versatility of the van, all the really good bits, and obviously point out some of the poor bits in terms of its condition. It is a 1999 model, so bear in mind it's 14 years old. It's done 87,000 miles. The odometer is in kilometres, like many Japanese imports. So the odometer will show you 140,000 kilometres. This Mazda Bongo is a petrol one, 2 litre, 2-wheel drive, and it has a LPG conversion that was done by me, and that was done about 17,000 miles ago, so about 2 years ago. It was originally imported by Wellhouse Leisure, and the conversion, camper conversion done, and it's had one other UK owner prior to us owning it, and we've owned it for about 4 to 5 years. It has a Facelift Category 2 alarm, which is obviously important for your insurance. The floor mats aren't original, so have the originals. Anyone who wants them can have them, but they're not in great condition. So I had these ones made up about 4 years ago when I first got the van. So apologies for the colour. It has electronic controls for adjusting your wing mirrors. It's electronic windows. It has, if you're not familiar with Japanese conversions, or Japanese imports, sorry, it has the windscreen wipers and the indicators, lights, stalks on opposite sides to what you might be used to, but that's actually really good because it means, what would be automatic as well, you only really need your right hand to drive it, so it's a very relaxing driving position on long motorway journeys. Settings it has. It has a low coolant alarm, which I have fitted. Bongos do have a little bit of reputation for overheating. I knew that when I bought it, so I had a low coolant alarm fitted because a classic way they overheat is their coolant systems leak. I've not personally had any problems with it leaking or any problems with overheating. It's good reassurance to have the alarm there, I suppose. This down here is the LPG indicator. If I turn that on, cancel the immobiliser. It's actually LPG indicator, so top LED tells you whether you're on petrol and LPG, red for petrol, green for LPG, and the 4 other LEDs indicate the how full your tank is. You can go about 400 kilometres on a full tank. When it gets down to the last light, when it's starting to run out of LPG, the last light will flash. When it's getting really low on LPG, it will beep. And when it's out of LPG, it just changes back to petrol itself. And it does that very seamlessly whilst you're driving. For anyone who's not familiar with LPG, when you start driving the van, it will be running on petrol, so you have to keep a little bit of petrol in the tank, and then when it warms up it just switches over to LPG itself, again really seamlessly. It takes probably about 2 minutes to warm up during the summer and switch to LPG, and it takes about 10 minutes in the winter. Whilst we're here, we'll just start it so you can hear that it starts perfectly fine. There you go. So it has the basic controls for temperature controls. Some Bongos do have a digital one, this one has the basic ones. It has a JVC CD radio, which connects via a rear USB connection. You can hook an iPod up to it and just have your iPod plugged in. Also has a Bluetooth connector, so you can have a hands-free kit. So this is under the bonnet. This is your main battery. and then over here you have the second leisure battery. A leisure battery is, I think, 2 years old. I've got the paperwork for it inside. It was replaced about 2 years ago. And you've got just your ability to top up the windscreen washer fluid. It's got the fans underneath, got the radiator obviously, and the coolant system. The engine in the Bongo is under the seats, under the driver's seats in the middle of the vehicle. So something to mention, it's got disc brakes all round, and it has relatively new alloys and tyres. I believe those are 2 years old. I think that's when we bought them. Just show you the passenger, front passenger seat, cabin area, or the rear seats. So this Bongo is a quarter conversion, which means you can have the full rear seats in it, with 3 seat belts, 1 lap belt and 2 3-point belts. These seats can actually be reversed as well, so if you're only 2 people using the van, you'll probably find it best to always have these seats reversed, because you can't transport, you can only transport 1 person with the seats reversed in the middle seat belt, because you can't use the 3-point belts. But if there's only 2 of you ever using the van, obviously it's not a problem, and you can just have the seats reversed, and then you can always have your own lounge area set up. The seats reversed quite easily by taking the plastic covers off the legs, each of the 4 corners, and unscrewing the bolts there, and then you can lift it out and turn it around, put it back in. There is there's a sub which you'll get. It's not particularly powerful, but there you go, it's not bad. There is the rear independent rear climate controls, so these people in your passengers in the back can, I don't know if you can see that, but can control their own airflow and temperature, and there are several vents for that. Table which is stowed underneath this set of seats. So there you go, it goes up, has 1 leg and clips that rail on the back. So obviously if you've got the seats reversed, you have them all the way up at this end against the front seats, and you would just move the table along the rail towards the end of the rail. So this is in the back. In here you have this cubby box bench seat here. There is actually the original seat belts here, because I'm also selling another set of seats exactly the same as that mid set, which you could put in the rear. Take the kitchenette out and the cubby box out. You could put it in the rear and change this back to an 8-seater vehicle if you want. Just be aware, if you do that, you need 8-seater vehicle insurance. It is different to 7-seaters, the maximum you're allowed on standard car insurance. Yeah, so this is the cubby box, just give you an idea of the sort of things you can get in there. We've got a sleeping bag, first aid kit, dustpan and brush for keeping the inside quite neat and tidy, tow ropes, things like that. And then this is the kitchenette unit here. This is it closed. I thought I'd also try and show you try and give you an impression of the amount of space you get when those seats are forward. It's easy enough to get sort of 2 bikes in without having to take any wheels off. Right, so this is a kitchen unit all opened up. Like I said, in this back bit here you've got the gas cylinder, which is turned on at the top when you're stationary, don't drive with it on, and then you've got the hookup cable, which is a pretty long hookup cable. Tea-towel rack on the back there, obviously that's quite the wrong way around, ought to be this way around. There you go. And in here you've got the electric cool box, which you might be able to hear is on. It has 2 fans at the top to cool it down. So this is obviously the main part of the unit. So you get your 2 gas burners, 2 gas rings there. You get your sink here. This cold water tap is an electric pump one. You may be able to hear, and that is fed by water from the tank at the back, which is your freshwater tank, and then the tank at the front is your wastewater tank. You can switch those around if you really want to. And then this is the sort of storage area that probably won't come out very well because it's not particularly good light at the moment. It's quite late in the evening. So you can see you get a light in the van. There are blinds all the way down. They're not electrically operated blinds, you just pull them down. That's your window blind. You've got those in the 4 rear windows. The very rear window you have a curtain, and for the front windows and front windscreen there are suction cup thermal blinds which you can apply. To close the window you just tap that up. There you go. So you have to have the key in, and then you operate the roof through a button here, and that opens. So this is how it looks with the roof up. So if I can get this all in the shot. There you go. It's actually a roof tent. So in theory you sleep in there, and then that means you don't have to sleep down the bottom. You can leave the bottom set up as like your lounge kitchen area. Like I was saying earlier, with the seats reversed is best if there's only 2 of you. So this won't come out very well unfortunately. This is the roof space. There's like a thin mattress there, slightly better than camping in a tent, you'll find. There is a light up here. There you go, there's a light. And there's also a lock cancel button. So there's a button up here you have to press to lower the roof, before you lower the roof. The purpose of that is so that you know, someone downstairs couldn't close the roof on someone upstairs without them having the ability to close it themselves. The thing to say is the ceiling bit that you would sleep on can also itself be raised. So the idea is you kind of have now standing space in the Bongo. You know, if you're a surfer or something and you want to get changed into your wetsuit, you've got a nice standing space. You obviously put the curtains down so you get your privacy, etc. Okay, so that's all the really good stuff about the van. Hugely versatile, great as a 5-person vehicle, great with general van space, ability to carry bikes, also, you know, nice camper, and yeah. But there are some, fortunately, some things about the condition on this particular van. So, as mentioned on the eBay auction, there is a reasonable amount of rust. You can see this primarily around the wheel arches. Okay. The other little spots of rust there. Probably see better if you open the door. There are some scratches on it. So you know, down here there's paint scratch. There is some paint peeling or lacquer peeling there. There's a less than 1 inch tear in the canvas that has been repaired with proper waterproof stuff. The bumper has got some scratches on it. Hopefully that comes through. That's the bumper. Final things to and the rear windscreen, well the windscreen wiper handles front as well. The arms then, on the blades have lost some paintwork as well. The fuel consumption on it, slightly better than the diesels. So on petrol it will do about 29 miles per gallon, and on LPG it does about 24 miles per gallon. On LPG, of course, that's about half the price of petrol, so your cost equivalent is around about 50 miles per gallon, which is pretty good cost.